Africa. I'm T-Brain, the ICT expert.
Thank you very much, Peter. We're doing rather well at the moment. Okay, so we're going to take the next hour or so to talk about the highlights we've heard in a snapshot this morning, but we're going to dig a little bit deeper with our panel members. So let's introduce the panel. So we have Manoj Shankar, CEO, who you all know. Baris Morel, who is Director of Sales for Africa, our largest sales region by far. Luke Jeva, who is our Delivery Head for Africa, so covers, responsible for delivering all of the projects that we deliver in Africa. Saria C. Saria is our global director for our global delivery practice, responsible for end-to-end delivery. Lakshman Manikan is our director for our business process outsourcing and ITES operations within the group. And finally, Srihari B, who is our director for HR and responsible for making sure that we have the talent in the company to execute on our plans. So, welcome to the panel. So, let me start. We heard this morning about growth, 125% growth. Manoj gave us a little bit of detail about that growth. But what I'd like to do is maybe dig a little bit further into those numbers and ask Baris to give us a bit of an insight into what it takes to get that growth and where it came from.
Thanks, Simon. I've got the numbers in front of me, so I appreciate the opportunity. Yes, we had a phenomenal year. And 2013, we've exceeded our expectations, and it was a fantastic year for the sales team. So, first of all, I want to thank all the sales and the pre-sales teams in this group, and I want a round of applause for all of them. We finished the year, as Manoj said, at $63.7 million. That was 125% growth from 2012. The orders are still coming. We have not closed the year yet, so we still got 2 more weeks to go. Hopefully, and we have some customers and prospects also in this room who are supposed to give us some more orders. So we can take that growth to 150 to 200%. So as soon as you get out of here, you go back to your offices, please make sure that you sign those purchase orders. 130 new customers we added in 2013. The lifeline, the lifeblood of any company, any software company, any solutions company is net new business. Being able to address new markets, being able to get new customers, being able to address new solutions to new customers. So 130 net new customers in solutions in 2013, which was phenomenal, versus last year we did 100. So it was a 30% growth in terms of adding new business to our bottom line. We have grown the sales team. These numbers are not coming just from the existing team. We're adding more salespeople. We're adding more business development managers across East Africa, West Africa, Central Africa, and Southern Africa. So we have grown our sales team in 2013 from 65 people to 117. That is an 80% growth on our foot soldiers, I call them, the field sales. Okay, and that's phenomenal growth. Today we have 43 open positions in sales and pre-sales. We're looking for 43 bright, talented salespeople across Africa. If you're brave enough to get into sales, if you want to apply, if you want to become part of Technobrain's sales force, please come to me and talk to me. We can do over coffee or drinks, we can have a quick interview. We have grown, just the last thing I wanted to add, we have grown tremendously in Southern Africa and Western Africa. East Africa was a bit slow this year because of the elections and because of some delayed decisions. So we're hoping that those will close and we will get a great year, as Mr. Mahesh Patel mentioned. we will kick the year with a big bang in Q1 of 2014. So those are the areas of growth that we've seen. We've seen another huge growth in private sector. We've actually grown our private sector business more than 50% this year, and everybody knows Technobrain is very focused on public sector and government. But this is a huge sign that we are making huge strides and huge expansion into providing solutions for the private sector. We have phenomenal applications for banking, for insurance, for manufacturing, for retail, for logistics, for oil and gas, for mining. So all of the private sector solutions that we're aligning, and we're building our pre-sales teams, we're building our sales teams so that we can actually cater to these markets in Africa and across Africa. So I'm very excited to mention that you will see more of Technobrain going into the private sector. You will see more people knocking on your doors and talking about our solutions. And I want to encourage everybody in this room to visit our stalls and talk to our pre-sales and sales teams about these solutions. So that was a great day for 2013.
Hey, thanks very much, Paris. It's a good dig down there. Lakshman, you're the other guy that brings revenue into the business on this panel here. Was it a similar story for BPO this year?
Yes, more exciting than solutions for sure.
All right.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. It's been an exciting phase for BPO for the last 5 years. It started as 20 seats. Today we have 420 employees spread across 4 different countries, growing on an average pace of 70% per year in terms of employee strength as well as our revenues. So it's been very exciting. 2013, a very special year. This year has been the most growth. We increased our revenues by 78% in comparison to last year. We expanded into 2 new territories. We already have offices in Kenya, and we moved into Uganda. Just started a new office. It's 11 months old, but I'm very happy to just say that we've got about 170 people already working there, making a turnover of more than $7,000. So that's one great space. We moved into Ghana. We're working on a partner site in Ghana, and we're working for some telecom companies in Ghana doing a lot of work. We have recently started an expansion in Malawi. It's just 2 weeks old, but it's already having 55 employees over there. So that's a new space as well. We've just grown. The most exciting thing for us is also people who are growing with us. So we've today got great entry-level candidates who joined us before 5 years. We believe in Technobrain BPO those days. Both trade managers managing most of the businesses. So it's a fantastic thing. This is a great set of work. In terms of growth, we've also done 85 projects this year across 6 different countries for various sets of partners and clients we visit. Thank you. I should say a big thanks to Matthew.
Thanks, that's about the same growth actually across the whole business. Lots of new people coming into the business. Sri, how many new people did we recruit?
Yes, just to quote a few numbers. Last year, 2012, we were around 850 to 880 people, and we've grown to 1,200 now.
Yeah.
It's a huge growth if we see in terms of complementing the business growth with people and competency. Around 30 to 40% growth has been there in terms of adding new people, skilled people across the group.
Right. Back when I didn't have grey hair, which is a very long time ago now, I remember I used to work in delivery actually, and sometimes you would have mixed feelings about hearing about all these new projects and these new growth because actually the guys who have to deal with that are the delivery teams. So maybe Surya, I can ask you to just say a few words about what you have to do to get effective delivery in place so that we can deliver the right solution. Yeah? It's not working. Surya's mic not working. Can we turn on the handheld mic, please?
Delivery is very well aligned with sales and practice. So we've been having a regular meetings on forecasting, but it's not going to be a surprise for us. So we know that when to recruit. And also, delivery definitely believe in building a team. So we have recruited campus recruits from all over the countries and then started building the different technologies. And we have been active right now. And we closed around 95 different projects and also successfully completed around 25 key testimonials we have received it. And the customers are praising that. And also on top of it, we received around 30 plus ATS support contract. It shows that we have successfully completed around 20 million business.
Right.
And there are a lot of other new businesses and the same customers because of the good work that we've done. And definitely there are a lot of competency building efforts and investment has gone in last year. A lot of trainings have gone in and dedicated resources are being placed for training, especially in Africa. So where we have seen that how well we are closely working with.
Yeah, Barris mentioned that with lots of new solutions, we've got lots of new stuff. So the salespeople are out there selling all this new stuff. Are you able to keep up with that?
That's right, that's right. See, it depends on if there's a new things, new technologies, new proposals, and new technologies, especially in Microsoft and other areas. Practice has been helping us to create a new to the next levels. Obviously, trainings into that. And also, if there is a partner solutions, we are really well in advance in the solutions, how we can support in the local customers.
Right.
So that's where we are going.
Right, thanks very much, Surya. So I'm going to do a little bit of a quiz now. So we're going to change this and we're going to test to see whether they're really awake. So here we are, we have some pictures behind you, unfortunately, so you'll have to crane your necks behind you. Can you see those pictures in the audience? You can feel free to join this. So what do these have in common? What was that from the back? Ah, right. And why is that, Nanda? What are the pictures of? So that's Namibia, yeah, lying on the sand dunes. We have Zambia and Zimbabwe, it could be, on the top, which is... This is Mecca. Saudi, yeah, so we know it's Saudi. And in the top left there is Lagos. So new territories been a big part of our business this year. Manoj, why? Why do we have to go and conquer new countries over and over?
Should ask you why not? I think there is no mental desire in the human, and actually do the same thing as us. In fact, I think that what happens when there is most of the African countries, where do we go from there? And then you start also thinking about going outside, as we have done that in Asia. So, coming back specific to Namibia, Nigeria, these are, especially Nigeria, really fun. In fact, I feel that we were led. We should have been there much earlier. But we also wanted to find the right partner. We got find. Valentina, she's from that region. She understands the terrain better. And she's done a phenomenal job. So that's one thing. Namibia is another great country where surprisingly we have a phenomenal success. We did a lot of large projects, countrywide projects. We decided that it was the country needs trade, that the rest of the Africa. Yeah, so it goes on wherever we see, and we keep going and expanding.
Yeah, I guess there's also a value, as Barris noted, this is a question for, that actually one of our advantages is that we can take solutions from countries to countries. Is that
That's right. I think one of the things that we will be measuring ourselves on in 2014, and this is something that we discussed in our internal meeting, is we will be actually focusing on repeating our successes. In some of the regions we've had phenomenal experiences, great projects, as Manoj mentioned in the morning, in Kenya, in Uganda, Tanzania, Malawi, Ethiopia, now Nigeria, in Southern Africa. And I think as we grow into new markets and new regions, the first thing we want to do is we want to be able to take those products that we've already implemented, that works, that is proven, and that is testimonial from the customer. And that's an easy sell for us, because rather than venturing into new ideas and new solutions, it's better to repeat your success and then expand that solution footprint.
and value to the customer as well, because actually you're not doing it for the first time in the country.
like to add here, it's not always easy.
Yeah.
When we went to South Africa, there was some disbelief that how this company can do business here coming from Tanzania and Kenya. And it's quite remarkable that in just less than a year, we have made progress in South Africa as well, which is supposed to be considered as a much advanced market than the rest of the Africa. Now we are competing against the likes of highly established, very old
Yeah. So, rest of the panel, what are the challenges in going into new countries? What do we have to consider? What do we have to get right to make this happen?
I think when it comes to project delivery, first of all, you're facing new culture, new way of doing things. We're pretty good at delivering projects in Eastern Africa. Right now, we have to march into the Southern Africa space.
Like the Marshall.
Yeah, we have to march into that space and face a new culture, face a new way of doing things. So even though we can call it a challenge, but it's also an opportunity for us. So we used young talents from the area, experienced project managers from the same area, and of course we have IDC, India Development Center, and KDC, who always help us go into that region and implement. So right now, those areas, I can give an example of Swaziland, where we have done a very good job in implementing projects, and where currently we have local staff supporting those projects.
And this is all in the space of 1 year.
Exactly.
This is the project
So, 2013.
Yes. Excellent. I know.
To add to what Bill is saying, when it comes to new territories and setting up new operations there, finding the right skills and the right people on is a major factor. And while it has been exciting, I would also say that it's been equally challenging. And just to add on to what Bill said, the model that we follow right now is to enter with a current capacity, competencies in terms of a nucleus, and build around that nucleus with local talent.
Right.
So for that, we will be partnering with various local HR consultancies, agencies, and also taking the help from Apparent Group, PDG, where it exists, and help us in this task. But yes, the challenges have been very many, and we are working around and overcoming them.
So we're getting a bit of a method now, aren't we?
Yes.
So we know that there's a sort of cookbook for how we do in Uganda. I know, actually, you did some different stuff in Uganda, didn't you? What was?
Added to the fact is that one of the passionate vision of our chairman as well as technologies to employ local youth. And as we perform our operations on the solution side, so there is a training where we actually just grooming up talent, and those talent needs to be used in the right places to create employment. This is one of the greatest challenges today for any African countries, and that's one of the important reasons because of which we want to expand into new countries and therapies from a BPO standpoint.
Right.
Having said that, BPO, the challenging factor is a lot of investment. So we are today talking to various governments to create public-private partnerships, where the governments will be able to bring in their work, put it in Technobrain BPO space, and Technobrain BPO uses the expertise to actually deliver those products. It's really gone successful in Uganda. That's what we started the Uganda office in January, started this year, and you see business in certain especially because foreign influence country. We just named Uganda as well as the places where we are there right now as BPO destinations equally completed to the Philippines or India or any other destinations where BPOs can be run. It can definitely be run in the same complexity, in the same deliveries in Africa as well.
So you're looking at working with governments in the other countries now where we're going into
Yes,
these countries?
we are discussing with few countries as well. We just actually take it up. And I would just say to be very thankful to those customers as well, like Google and Microsoft and the Walmart, the US, who believe in us to actually just do those businesses here. And the youth here perform a great job in the project.
So Google are one of our customers, are they? And,
Yes, we've got customers. We've got 120 people working for Google in Uganda. There are about 40 working for Walmart in the US. For
first, I think that's what she said. So I thought maybe we could just go around the team and get just some stories about some of the projects that we might have won from the sales team or executed during the year, just to give a bit of a flavour. So maybe we'll start again with Lakshman, and you can just sort of run us through some of those stories.
We have two sets of projects, international and domestic. And international projects, which I just spoke about, these customers really get the value add of cost reductions in space of doing it and their increase in outsourcing first. That's the first value factor we bring to the table. Obviously, the quality will accept as well. We got another extended order from Google for another 106. So the quality is a very important part, and that helps us. And I think that's how we are taking them to just do a really good project. From a local standpoint, a couple of projects what we've done, we just actually changed to facelifted, Manoj touched on one, facelifted ISP company, or say cable company, it's a fiber company, which is cable channels. This does also give internet bandwidth to the and telephone systems to your house. So they had 20,000 customers, they had their own set of challenges, and the customers here. We have completely changed the idea of how they work today, right? So the way the model is working, and I think the brand marketing really comes up from the customer service, which is that obviously with all support components. And it is on site, so we actually work from their offices to really execute these projects. Two more projects to mention, we do the child helplines. We are again really passionate on the social trust. So we've set up 6 child helplines across Africa.
One of my personal experiences was when I go to a new country, you meet the customer for the first time, and the first question they ask is, who's Technobrain?
Yeah.
But what kind of funny name is that? Right? And you go from that in 6 months, all of a sudden the country and everybody in that country knows about Technobrain because of the marketing, and not only the marketing, but I think all of the success stories that we have. And then when they see this, obviously then it becomes very easy. So I'll just make a few examples. In Namibia, we are actually signed a very huge contract with the Namibia Lands. So we will be actually doing a fantastic project, putting lands records in terms of real estate, commercial, non-commercial, business, and parceling them, and then geographically mapping them on a map, and then doing the property taxes and everything. It's always a controversial issue in Africa. So many governments and so many countries have tried to implement it, and they really failed because of a lot of political issues. And I think Namibia has taken a way forward in making this a reality by bringing automation and using geographic information management system and a financial management system to be able to track all of the lands and the land records in the country. This is going to be a phenomenal project. As I said, without having an office in Namibia, this is a huge project. So this is actually fast forwarding our operations and our expansion in that region. And then now that's going to enable us to go to the neighboring countries like probably Angola and Botswana, and expanding further into Namibia. In Namibia now we have 4 customers. This is going to be the 4th customer that we have. So these are the things that actually gets us excited and gets us moving forward. Things like Manoj mentioned Mauritius. And I think everybody in my team was so excited to apply for that job in Mauritius. And actually we had a prospect in Seychelles. And one of the questions that I asked Manoj is, I said, are we opening up an office in Seychelles? He said, you close the deal and we think about it. And I said, if you close the deal, then I'll be the first one to apply. And I think I mentioned this for last year for Mauritius, and now I'm going to apply for the Seychelles. But I think new geographies get us excited. We get into the new geographies. We position our new solutions to the customers. Once they're convinced of our capability, they give us, I just want to give another example, just to beat Lakshman a little bit on the top, is the Swaziland. You know, in just a year of operations in Swaziland, we are doing fantastic projects, as Surya mentioned. We're doing the Ghost Workers project, another controversial issue in Africa, but you don't see a lot of governments who are implementing
one
this.
mentioned this morning by...
Correct, the Ekiti state.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's a phenomenal project that we've executed, not only in a year, within a year of operations, starting operations in Swaziland, getting that project, and then successfully completing that project was a tremendous success. So I think everybody in this room who actually touched that project deserves a round of applause.
Okay, I'm going to pose another question now. This is a bit of a more difficult one, I think. Pardon? No. They're not all private. PSI is an NGO. The one in the bottom is Mount Kenya Bottlers. Oh, we have a... So, Kala, you have a suggestion? Pardon? Frisbee? And what about it? And what about Frisbee? Frisbee is executed in India. That's
KDC,
true.
and even PSI and other things are from KDC.
Excellent. There's a man who's paying attention. So yeah, these are 4 of the projects we executed this year. Frisbee was the only one of those projects that was executed from the India Development Centre. It was actually a very complex project, building a mobile social platform, so very high value add stuff. But PSI, NGO in Kenya, CRM platform, delivered by KDC, Mount Kenya Bottlers, the Coca-Cola people here in Kenya. They had an NAV ERP system delivered by KDC, and KCB had EPM, Enterprise Performance Management Solution, executed by KDC. So the issue here is local skills, local development, moving skills into Africa and delivering from Africa. Maybe Manoj, I know it's close to your heart, you can kick off on the importance of this.
Exactly, yeah, it's very, very close to my heart. Personally, I drive this particular issue, and I think the result of that is setting up the Kenya Development Center. And now we are moving ahead from Kenyan Development Center to setting up a NDC, that's the Nigerian Development Center. In time to come, that's after about 2 to 3 years, we're looking at countries like Ethiopia, Zimbabwe. There are a lot of skills are there, and this will go on in terms of developing capacity here, because I think more and more the real work also has to happen here in Africa, and I think that's where we're leveraging India very effectively. I always believe and always talk about it. To build a skill, you need a skill here. So we need to get people here so they help to build skills locally. And this is an ongoing exercise and very much on top of the agenda.
Right. And how do we do it? Lul, maybe you can tell us. So it sounds easy, doesn't it? That you just build a centre here in Africa, and we've got 70 people or something now in Kenya. But how do you actually get to that point? What are the steps that you have to go through, and how did we do it?
Yeah, it sounds easy. Yeah, it's a set of process on its own, because first of all, the vision. What are we trying to achieve? First of all, KDC being here, and also NDC coming up as from the western side. We want to have a development center that can develop products and also can do projects for the Africa region. Correct? So we'll be helping. When we talk about new regions and this, we're using resources from these centers. So how do we do it? First of all, looking at your vision, you have to recruit the people, the consultants. We focused at bringing college graduates, interns, and develop them, going through a training program, going through on-the-job trainings. I mean, I can tell you that one of the super guys who are delivering excellent projects around the region are those guys who came as a college intern.
So they came straight from straight out of the doors of college. Yeah.
So we've done a set of trainings. Even currently, every year we have training plan, not only for KDC throughout Africa. We do training, capacity building, and also mentoring. And we have, we created, department within KDC based on the domain or the product. So there is a hierarchy of project manager, leads, and consultants and associates. interns. So this is a process. And, but what I can tell you, yes, it's not easy, but it's achievable.
Right.
Yeah.
And now how many do we have?
In 50
50 plus.
but it's growing. It's hard to tell the number now, right?
So maybe bring Sri Hari in there. We hear about the intern programs and so on. You've got 50 plus students. I think most teachers would be a bit scared by having 50 plus teachers in the class. How do you manage that whole process?
Right, so when, just to give a small background, so when this started, Lul, Surya and me, we got together early in the part of the year, around April, when I had just come in. And this thing had picked up speed. So we got together and we said, let's catch them young and poach them when they are still young. So that's an adage which we just came up with together. And we
so I heard Manoj say catch them young. So has that become a bit of a catchphrase in there?
So and this has actually been, this was something which we went ahead and did for solutions delivery, and it's turned out to be a huge success. So we had NetHope Academy, which is an NGO tied up with us. And not only for solutions delivery, even for training, we went across with the same model later on in the year. Went to the campuses. Jacquard is one university from where we got freshers coming in. And we did a lot of competency upskilling training at the departmental level in an organized way, cross-skilling, which has led to this story. And to just vouch for that, all of them are still there. None of them have left, which was an initial fear that, which everyone has, especially in HR. We train and then they should not go away. And notwithstanding that, they have overtaken probably few senior level consultants as well in terms of performance.
Right.
So that's a huge success.
And how many people did we interview to get 50 in the end? Is that the way we did it, or did we just take, there were only 50 to take and we took them all? How did it work?
No, so it was depending on our positions, vacant positions and the upcoming projects that we had to fill in. And it was to be done in quick time.
Right.
So it was not exactly a planned figure that we would need only 50.
Right. So
and it's a growing, yes. Yeah. So the model, once it became a success, so we thought now let's follow it as one of the standard norms. Get fresher people, get youngsters. And just to quote a very interesting figure, if we all look around ourselves, the average age of Technobrain Group today is 27, 28.
That's more than double. that's the age of my oldest son. So.
Young, bright people, yeah.
Okay, thanks very much, Sri. So, I mean, it's really great to do all this and embarrassing. Does it make any difference to our customers, Barris?
It does, actually. I just wanted to chime in. I think the customers, even our customers and prospective customers in this room, I was just talking to a gentleman and during the break, is the customers are becoming very demanding and they're becoming smarter and smarter and they're becoming very complex in their requirements and needs. And the first thing that the customer asks is, do you have local capacity? Do you have local support? Because at the end of the day, you can give them a fantastic solution, but if you don't have the local people to support them, hold their hand, and take them through the implementation and the handover, your $5 million, $10 million, or $50,000 implementation or project can go to trash. So I think customers are more and more demanding. They're demanding that, look, I need to have change management in place. I want to make sure that my users adopt the solution. They're properly trained. They properly held their hands throughout the entire project. After we go live, we want to make sure that they actually do a proper knowledge transfer to them. And we're there for that. And we're there for them locally. And I'll tell you something funny. Because of the customers, and most of our customers are getting very, different thinking, is when they see what our capacity is and what we're capable of, sometimes they put all these requirements in their RFP. So things like, it has to be a local company, it has to have this kind of quality services, it has to have same amount level 3, and then when the competitive, every company comes big, we're the only one who can qualify it. right? And then everybody gets disqualified. So, I think in government they try to get multiple bids in. So, yes.
Right, great, thanks. So, we'll move on from that to another theme that was, this isn't a quiz this time, although actually I think this will keep going for a while. You mentioned this morning, Manoj, about delivery excellence and some of the contribution and the change in delivery this year. So maybe I'd just like to ask Surya, what did you do to deserve that praise this year?
Last year, if you see this delivery excellence, we achieved through mostly on the process excellence. See, there are mainly three things like process excellence, competency building we focused, and also operation excellence. If we can take the process excellence, we focused more on CMMI, ensuring that the deliverables are quality deliverables at the end. Also more focused towards the customer satisfaction, which means that regular reporting to them and then meeting them every month and then updating the regular status to the customer, saying that what exactly is happening. Also understanding the feedback, not at the end of the projects alone, but even in the every month level, so that we know that where we need to improve that. So that is where the focus has gone in much, and CMMI level 3 implementation is also helped a lot to KDC team members, where we started working more process oriented and then delivering the outputs very well. And especially we also created another team called delivery administration, where they focus more on PMO and especially project health, how the metrics are we really doing it correctly or not, and reporting is properly happening or not. So the more audits have been done last year, so to ensure that we are actually on the process. So, and also the trainings, competency building and trainings, we have dedicated a resource where they can focus on cross-functional trainings like NAV to AX, those kind of things. So we try to build the team members within the team so that we don't really have to depend on much in different other R&D centers. So a lot of effort has gone in this.
Right. So I know it's not just a delivery excellence. We hear all the things you've done. Makes a huge difference, I think, to our customers. I know, Baris, as well, you're working very hard on sort of sales excellence now as well. So it's not just delivery excellence. Sort of, there's a focus on operational excellence. Maybe you can just share a bit of that information.
Yeah, just very quickly. I think we have a fantastic sales team on the ground, and I think they're doing a phenomenal job of addressing our solutions and being able to position our solutions to the customers. But I think in the back office, a salesperson is only good as so the support that he gets from both the company and from various peers. So there are three things that we've done in 2013, which we're going to continue to grow into 2014, is the backbone, the structure of our sales support. So we've actually launched a new sales admin and grown our bid management team. 90% of Technobrain's business comes through tenders and RFPs, fortunately and unfortunately. So we wanted to make sure that we have phenomenal proposals, we have great documentation, and we have compliant documentation that satisfy the needs of our customers. So we built a very good back office team in Kenya at our headquarters. That team has grown by 500% in just the last 6 months to make sure that they do quality controls and they do a proper documentation of our proposals. We also added a new division called Sales Enablement and Support, which is headed by Trisha Score, which is going to be giving a enablement and enablement kits and getting our sales teams ready in the market. So if we have sales guys who are selling into banking, if they're selling to manufacturing, they need to make sure that they are properly trained for those solutions to be able to articulate the benefits of those solutions to our customers.
So the customers can expect someone to turn up who knows what they're talking about.
That's correct.
Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly right.
So that'll be a change.
That'll be a change, right? Everybody knows that salespeople, sometimes we make up stuff so we want to make sure that actually what we're saying is something that we can deliver. So these guys can actually deliver what was promised, and everybody knows sales over promises, and then it's their job to over deliver, not under deliver. So we want to make sure that we understand what is it that we're selling,
And then we are capable of articulating that message to our customers and differentiating ourselves from the rest of the competition. So that's very important.
So there's a big focus, Manoj, across the organisation. Why is that so important? There's a lot of energy going into all these efforts.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right. I was saying there's a lot of work going into improving processes, improving alignment, improving delivery sign-offs and CMMI5 and so on. It's a lot of investment, it's a lot of cost for the business. Why are we doing all that?
Absolutely. As I said earlier, that we don't settle anything less than being a world-class company. And to do that, you don't need excellence not only in delivery, you need excellence in every business area which we have. Not only in delivery and sales, we are also talking about excellence in finance, in HR, and of course there's a lot of investment. In fact, I must say that all the profits which we are generating out of all the business we are doing today, everything we are putting back in the business. Okay, and significant of that is going in R&D and going on quality processes which we are building. In sales enablement, for example, it's very important that our sales force goes and does the right selling. We don't want them to do a wrong commitment and it becomes a liability for the organization. So we did a demo to win kind of a session where each of our sales guys can do a demonstration effectively to the client, engage with the client more effectively. We're having a Tricia as a specialist for sales enablement, so that each sales guys are trained, they are competent to go and sell. Right. So this is an ongoing exercise across the organization, so that we grow properly. It's very important that 125% growth we are talking about, we manage it effectively. We don't want to have a chaotic organization, and that can be seen by the customer. Customers should see the excellence. Yeah? And so all the effort goes on to make sure that we put all our energy to make sure that we grow properly, manage our growth effectively.
Right. Thanks. I think at this point we've got about 15 minutes left, have we, Peter? So maybe we'll take some questions from the floor, if we have some questions from the floor.
Customers, partners, everyone.
Customers, partners, yeah, anybody, please feel free. Do we have some Can we get microphones?
Yeah, a couple of microphones.
We have a question down here.
Thank you. My name is Sifika. I'm from Lesotho. I've got two questions. One, is Technobrain listed on any stock exchange which would sort of give us good confidence in the corporate governance systems in place? If not, is it something that you are thinking of anytime soon? The second question is, can you share with us your staff turnover rates? You are growing very rapidly, and we would hope that you are also keeping some of your best brains in-house. What is the staff turnover rate across key consultants and so on? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. So I'll direct the first of those questions to Manoj, and then we'll go to Sri for the second.
I met a few people who listed their company in the stock market, and unfortunately, they lost control on managing the company. So it's really a myth that if a company is listed, it's better governed. At the same time, I agree with you in terms of the roadmap as we're moving ahead. We do have a vision that Technobrain should be among the first few countries, an IT company from Africa should be listed. So we get more public to come and join us. That there is a roadmap, there is a vision, there is a thinking. Right now, I can't really say when it's going to happen. We look at year by year performance, and probably, as we move on, the chairman does keep mentioning to me about going public at some point of time. Yeah. The second question I would ask Sri Hari to let us know what is the attrition we are having in this company.
Okay, so on the turnover part which you asked, I would be very proud to say, in the Technobrain group, the attrition rate as of now, if you talk of annualized attrition rate, is less than 10%. And just to give an example of this in terms of the tenure, the average tenure of the entire group, if we take of a person leaving the earliest and person who stays the longest, the average tenure in Technobrain is around 6 to 7 years, which is the minimum, right? And we have around more than 150 people plus, in fact it would be more, I'm giving an off-the-cuff figure, and this is only solutions division. I am not counting the BPO and the training, is more than 150 people who are beyond 5 years of tenure today.
Did that answer your question satisfactorily, sir? Yeah. Do we have other questions in the audience? Please put up your hands. We have a gentleman over here.
Oh, we have a partner.
A partner?
Just take it easy on us.
Yeah.
The team in India, and we're also going to new geographies, and I'm fascinated by what you guys have done. My question is on the strategy of entering new markets. I know that a lot of time it's opportunity based, but then from a marketing standpoint, or what solutions are we going to take? Do you start expecting numbers from a segment pretty soon, or do you give the market the time to sort of say, okay, we'll explore this market, or it's an exploratory phase and then we will see? So it's from a new market perspective, both Baris and Manoj will understand what I'm saying. But it's opportunistic entry, but then when we go there, do we already know that what are we going to do in the market, or we go and figure it out later on?
So let me, will you take that, Baris?
Sure, I'll be happy to. That's an easy question, Sachin, thanks. I gave you that question to ask. No, actually, that's a very good question, and that's a great question, and that's the question that we've been answering for the last 3 months as we're doing our business planning and our strategic initiatives. Manoj comes to me and says, okay, in the next quarter, we're going to open 2 offices in these countries, West Africa, South Africa, now just go figure it out. Doesn't do it in that sense, but we put together a plan, obviously. So then that drives the recruitment, that drives the go-to-market, that drives our partnerships, that drives everything. I think there are a couple of things that we're doing, and we're going to be doing differently in 2014. I think in the previous years, we were a bit opportunistic in some of the countries, that there's a project comes up or an opportunity comes up, we get approached by a partner or we get approached by the customer and says, can you bid on this? Can you actually go after this? If we had a proper solution, if we had in our references, we did. We went after it, and then either we secured the business or we lost it. In 2014, for the existing new countries that we're in and the new countries that we're exploring into, there are a couple of things that we're going to do differently. This is where the sales enablement came in, and this is where we're putting a lot of emphasis across our pre-sales and sales. So in our pre-sales, we have put together business plans for across all of our 7 practices and came up with a strategy for all of our solutions across the countries that we're going to sell those to. So some solutions are going to be sold into East Africa, maybe not West Africa because of the different market, because of competitiveness, because of so many other different factors. So we've actually aligned every practice, every partner solution to countries and put a dedicated business development manager and account manager to drive that market at an exploratory level, also at an engagement level. So we will explore some new markets with some new solutions, okay? Whether that works or not, we can take a decision in the next 1 or 2 quarters. But at the same time, we talked about repeatable business. So where we're actually having great success, let's repeat them and let's take them from beyond East Africa, or great success that we're having in Southern Africa, let's take that to East Africa and West Africa. So there is a plan. There is a good news for all of our partners and our solutions. Every business development manager in this room and every salesperson in this room, they know which solutions they're going to sell to which markets. Okay, so that's the good news that I can tell you.
Adding to that, the only thing I would like to say here is that any country we go there, it's a long-term strategy. It's not that we're going to go for 2-3 years and come back. No, it's going to be as long as we exist.
Okay, thank you very much. Did that answer the question? Yep, thank you. Any more questions? No more, right. Oh, is there one here? Sorry.
Oh, great. Another partner.
There's a question in the front row here.
We'll bring the microphone.
A low hand. They can't see you at the back because they're scanning at the back there. Yeah.
Robin was hesitating.
I think it's working. No.
I don't think it's ready.
Oh, it's not working now.
You want to get this one over?
Hopefully I'm loud enough.
Oh, and I'll repeat the question for the audience.
So my specific question is probably to Baris. So we have all these partners that are, with the growth of Technobrain across such a large geographical area, Technobrain is growing more and more attractive to the multinationals and to the partners. And therefore you're probably being approached by new partners every single day. How is the sales team organized and measured in such a way that you're still going to partner with us, your partners, in a sustainable way and avoid the temptation of either selling only TBL products or avoid the temptation of selling on maybe the loudest partner that you have, and ensure that our partnership is sustainable in the next 5 years or in the next 10 years. The risk of us feeling maybe it's a very opportunistic partnership, and therefore maybe in 2 years' time we don't need to invest in it because we're not going to.
That's a very good question. So, to summarise the question from one of our partners, as Technobrain grows and becomes more attractive to other partners, how can they be sure of our fidelity to our existing partners and our continuing investment in developing our business with our existing partners?
And also how is that being reflected in the way that the sales
Right. And how do we ensure that that happens? And how do we ensure that that happens?
First of all, I would like to just mention the gentleman who is asking this question is Robin from Microsoft, having been associated with Technobrain for many, many years. So, and we started to talk to Microsoft many years back. In fact, that really reminds me when Peter was talking about Simon Edwards as an introduction. There was a time some 7-8 years back when it was too difficult to get you even on the phone, Simon. But, and forgetting about an appointment with you. Great to have you here. Coming back to the question, I don't think Technobrain ever look at any partnership in the It doesn't help. The opportunity-based approach is a short-term approach. You do a project and then how do you support the client? How do you make that business grow? So any partnership which you are doing, it's a very careful decision to get into a new partnership. Okay? And we also don't want to have too many partners trying to do the same work. So let's say your obvious question is, let's say you have today a partnership with Microsoft, and very recently we joined with SAP, and of course we have been having partnership with Oracle. How do we manage all three partnerships without rubbing each other? So each organization has got its own strengths. Microsoft, we have such a wide spectrum of products and services to be doing together. With SAP, we have chosen a partnership for a very niche area, where Microsoft is not there or Microsoft is not very strong in it. Similarly with Oracle, similarly with many other other organizations. But I do agree with you that today, every week I get a request for a partnership. Okay? Literally every week, there are so many companies that are coming to Africa, and obviously we become a very obvious choice for a partnership. But we are not really jumping into it. We're very carefully assessing that. We're looking at what is their philosophy, what is their culture. Does it fit into us? There are many companies who want to use us for doing their business, which really we don't appreciate, and they will not join that with us. I will give example of some very large Indian multinationals who want to associate with us on case-to-case basis. We are never going to. In fact, today we compete.
Yeah, that's a good question, and I know why Robin is asking this question. Today we have close to 40, 45 partners that we work with. Okay? And that's across 70 plus solutions that we have. Right? It's not only on the ERP or the back office. I think it's more on the identity management, on the healthcare, on manufacturing, on so many other areas like GIS, RFID, and I can go on and on. So they're in very different segments and they're very different focuses. And every partner that we have is being managed
and be responsible for either business development manager or practice director. And actually, one of the things that we've done is we make sure that we don't add too many partners. Actually, in 2013, I must say that I think most of you will be shocked, Manoj and I, we go through new partnership requests, inquiries on a weekly basis. We get stormed by so many inquiries and interest, and that's very overwhelming. It's a very good sign, and it gets us excited. But at the same time, we only added 4 new partners in 2013. Okay, only 4 new partners in 2013. And every one of these partners, and I'm sure I think most of them are in this room, we have a business plan. We have, if there is any conflict with another solution, Manoj said, either SAP or SAP on the ERP space, we make sure that we draw very fine lines between the markets that we take with those products, and we incentivize the salespeople and the business development managers to be focused on those applications. So, Robbie, you know that we have a huge team on Microsoft today. I think Lydia's team has grown to almost 12 people across East Africa. We have made, and he was telling me this morning that we have made a commitment to Microsoft, and Microsoft returned back and said that yes, we will give you an enterprise agreement capacity in the 7 countries in East Africa. And I must say, because of our focus in there, we were able to get, in all of those countries, we got the enterprise agreement because of the focus that we put into that business. So we're really not losing focus from existing partners. We will continue to invest. But one thing I wanted to tell is what is important to our customers is the joint partnership that Technobrain has with our partners. So when the customer sees us very close, hand in hand, when we go into a customer and say, here's Microsoft, here's Technobrain, let's talk about a joint engagement, that gives the best value to the customer. So I think one of the things that I like to say is I encourage all of our partners to support us. I think those partners who've given us the support, including you guys, we've done wonders. Okay? Those partnerships where it's kind of like a marriage, you fall in love and then sometimes it doesn't work out and then everybody goes into their corners. So those partnerships obviously have fizzled out, they didn't work out and we have to all move on. So those that's the reason why we keep our focus and we make sure that our sales team and our pre-sales teams are focused on those solutions. And with the sales enablement, we're making sure that we are getting closer to our partners and our partners understand our strategy and then support us in those markets.
And we will have a session later in the day, I think, with some of our most important partners actually to discuss that. Okay, I'm going to close the questions now. I'd just like to ask final comments from the panel. What I'd like to know, very briefly, just 3 bullet points or something, just so that we can understand for your area of responsibility what to expect in 2014. So what are you focusing on in 2014? A quick snapshot. We'll start with Steve.
Okay, so 2014 is going to be a year of change. A lot of things happening, expansions. So from people perspective, we are made by the people. Technobrain is made by the people, belongs to the people. So the basic phrase that HR practices we are going to work on is we are going to call this the year of best practices. The aim is going to be very simply build best people practices, right? In terms of career growth, career path, training and development, leadership development, and succession planning. Most importantly, a very focused program of mentorship, wherein we build our own internal organic growth path to all our people, given the average tenure which they just said, is the most important factor, so that down the years, another 5 years, 10 years, we have our own people coming up the channel and taking over larger responsibilities and growing within the company rather than looking outside for fresh skills. That is my point.
Thank you, sir. That's what
From a media perspective, I think the focus is more going to be on expansions of growth. We are entering into new territories. We have to just say even before we just started Malawi, it's not even a month, but then just graciously agreed to start Tanzania. Right? So we are looking at new expansions, work with governments on project-level partnerships that we're working on. So that's our first goal. The second obviously to grow our business. Should show the same kind of progress and leapfrog to new standards. The third is, I had this interesting conversation with Manoj yesterday. I was asking him a question saying, where do you see BPO in the next 2 years? He just said, I need Technobrain BPO to be the best in Africa and the largest growing BPO company now. So I think that would be our vision as the third point, and obviously last one would be continuous improvement. Happy employees, happy customers. It's defined
Yeah, our focus is going to be more on CMI level 5, which is going to be quality deliverables, and also, as Manoj mentioned, that we're going to focus more on setting up a new R&D center in Nigeria. Not just setting up the R&D center alone, we are also focusing on level 3 certification there, applies over there. So when I am saying that CMI level 3 more focusing on it, it doesn't really mean like it's like a simple certification. It also involves in the delivery quality deliverables on the delivery team members. So on top of it, we are also focusing more on project accounting this year, and we have created a new tool, more tools we are planning to develop it. And one of them is the project management and timesheet management system, where it gives detailed project accounting. It also gives how the projects are this, and a clear picture to the finance team also, where we are with respect to the projects and the delivery of it. And on top of the we are also focusing more on competency building and strengthening programs and supporting the new regions, as Manoj mentioned, like Angola, Mozambique, where they don't really speak English. So we are also gearing up to support those kind of areas.
Thanks, Sameer. Will, do you have, what can you add? What more can our customers expect?
Actually, he almost said it all, but Paris was mentioning earlier that the business growth was 162%. So we gave a round of applause for the salespeople, and I want to mention that we need to give the same round of applause for our delivery people. Because that kind of growth comes with delivery excellence. You know, whenever we do good project implementation, you get 2 or 3 more from that testimony, right?
Yeah.
So 2014, he said it all, but mostly we want to have delivery excellence, we want to have smooth projects, we want to have a very good communication with clients, very transparent, and we want to scale up to world-class delivery.
So basically your message is happy customers, happy
people,
happy music players.
And then when we do maybe another 200% growth from our side, at least we'll talk about 300% growth next year.
Thanks for the challenge. I think when you do 125% growth and the expectation is all of a sudden you have to do 200% growth next year. So I think we have huge aspirations for next year. We have set high targets for ourselves, and I don't think that there's any reason why we cannot achieve that. So 2014, I think Technobrain, this room is going to be a lot bigger than this. I can definitely tell you that. Just one quick soundbite I wanted to give to make sure that everybody hears. 2014, we really going to be focusing on going deep into our vertical markets. Okay, what I mean by that is, we've been serving the government, ministries, agencies, and we have such a phenomenal experience in that over the last 17 years. So we're going to continue to build deeper solutions into those markets. The NGOs, we've done phenomenally well in NGOs, so we're going to continue to build deeper solutions in those markets. And then, as I said earlier, in the private sector, we are going to be verticalizing our solutions for banks, insurance, manufacturing, oil and gas, and mining, and manufacturing. So I think our vision in the next 3 to 5 years is to have vertical teams and industry experts and from sales and pre-sales, people who understand the industry, people who can actually really focus on solutions for the industry. Because everybody knows that manufacturing is very different than logistics, very different than oil and gas and the other sectors. So we're going to strive for excellence in providing very relevant solutions for these markets that we'd like to serve. So that's our mission for 2014 and beyond.
Manoj, finish this off.
We also,
not only delivery, excellence across the organization as a better company. And the second thing is always being the philosophy of Technobrain is to build capacity. Build capacity in every country we are going, so that we really add value to our country.
Thank you very much. With that, I'd like to thank our panel. I think they've given us